You've never been too much, maybe just too powerful for a world that feared your pleasure. They called it dangerous, dirty, and distracting. But what if your sensuality is actually the source of your magic and you quietened your true self-expression as a survival strategy? If you've ever dimmed yourself to feel safe, held back your expression, been shamed for your curves, your confidence, your primal sensual energy, or felt like you had to be less to be accepted, this is something you learnt to stay safe in a world that didn't know how to meet you. We've lived in a world that's feared feminine power when it's been embodied. They burnt the witches trying to soften, make small, and contain our magnetism. Our dark feminine nature is here to be felt, to allure, to mystify, to remember and be remembered for our embodiment of self-honoring desire and design. And maybe you've tried to manage it, being more appropriate, more controlled, putting yourself in a box to be less expressive. But something in you knows that you've only been partially expressed. This is because your nervous system has been repeating something unfinished and holding on to an old feeling. At some point, your system learned, if I'm fully expressed, I'm not safe. So now when your energy rises, when your presence expands, something pulls it back. It's become a learnt behavior. Not because it's wrong, because it was never allowed. For a long time, embodied feminine power has been misunderstood. So instead of being expressed, it was contained, not erased, just suppressed. And what's suppressed doesn't disappear, it becomes tension or disconnection. It becomes emotional charge. And emotional charge is unfinished emotion, a response that your body never got to complete. So it loops and it repeats. And when our nervous systems were triggered, we held parts of our body tense, our voices back, and our breath in an unhealthy expression. And this issue then stored in our tissues and in patterns within our breath, bodies, and vocal expression. And this loop being closed is about completing what was interrupted and coming back to a natural way of being. There's an unexpressed part of you that already knows a healthier pattern. In archetypal work, we're referring to the dark feminine expression. This is a part of all of us, regardless of gender, and it shows up as our internal and external sorceress and sorcerer. Embodied, this archetype is beyond performance and provocation. This is the essence of primal magnetic presence where the attention of others shifts to the truth that we hold within us. This is the part of you that feels deeply, that moves naturally, and feels no need to ask for permission to exist, nor any need to chase for attention. When embodied and clear in our expression of this archetype, we're alchemists of presence, and that part of you, it's ready to come online. So how do we actually shift this? We use a transformational, body-based ritual that uses archetype-specific statements to identify where you've been overriding yourself and where you've been storing patterns in your body. And then the statements help us to find our triggers, and we also move energy through breath, body, and sound-based practices. And finally, we anchor the new state so it becomes a remembrance of who you are. As you go through this process, your body will respond, a twitch, a twinge, a sensation, a release. It means that you've found a nervous system trigger, and that's the pattern moving. You previously suppressed something and experienced a fight, flight, freeze or fawn response, and your body responding in this ritual process is it now allowing expression. And expression is what restores your power, your sensitivity, your connection to your heart. Emotions are energy in motion, and we want that energy moving. That's a sign that you're alive. As the ritual shifts your body, we pair a scent with your progress. Scent bypasses your thinking mind and it anchors directly in your memory. So when you access a new state and pair it with a scent, your body remembers it. You're doing more than feeling different when you do this, you're locking it in. After learning how to bring peace to our nervous system and how to elevate it to move stagnant emotional charge, we start to use simple statements to find specific sticking points for each archetype. We use statements like, "I'm sorry that you lacked trust in your intuition." And we grow with statements like, "I deserve and desire to be sensually expressed." And we come to a place of embodying statements such as, "I am magnetic and felt." And as you repeat the statements, your body begins to release what it's been holding. You feel more connected, more present, more yourself because your energy is no longer suppressed. A woman shared this with me. She used to feel invisible, always trying to be appropriate. And after doing this work, she stopped trying to be chosen and started choosing herself. And that's when everything changed. Others approached her and she became the chooser. There's a version of you that would never apologize for their glow, that moves freely, that remembers that their body is divine, that this is more than a fantasy, this is your truth, and that version of you already exists. It's just been suppressed and it's waiting to be claimed. If this activated something in you, then you already know there's more available than what you've been accessing. And accessing disowned parts is a large part of the work that we do. So get the Foundations program, the Dark Feminine add-on, and the perfume that anchors it. Begin the ceremony. Feel your power return. You can choose to be polite and disappear from a fear of your own intensity. Just know that you're here to be powerful and to be felt. If this resonated, the next video explores how all 4 of the archetypes that we explore can work together to shape your reality, and it should be on the screen now.